Everyone's welcome to join in. Okay, so welcome back. Welcome for the first time.
What are you going to do on matzah?
Do you have any ideas?
Can you say it?
For next year, you can.
I guess you should have the same.
I can use them for Kesach Sheni.
Yeah, we'll be happy to share some with you. Okay, so here, can you guys share with that one? And Nicole, and you can share this one. And you can come and share with me. Okay? And anybody else shows up? Josh, boom. Okay, so go to page Dalid. Okay, it's bigger print over there, so it'll be easier for you. Okay, this is a ma'amar of from the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe is Rav Shneir Zalman, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, and this was said 209 years ago. And before tape recorders, you know. And the reason that we have all these things written down, just like, for example, most of the things that we have from the last Lubavitcher Rebbe were spoken on Shabbos or Yom Tov. And the way all these Rebbes have their Divrei Torah written down is to have people that have these amazing memories. There's this Rabbi Yoel Khan, and he'd be there at the Farbrengen, and the Rebbe could talk for 4 hours, 6 hours. It didn't matter. As soon as Shabbat was over, he and a few other people with those kinds of memories, they would sit down and they would repeat everything verbatim, and it would get written down and typed up, and it would be sent in to the Rebbe for approval. So a lot of this stuff, like, you know, the Rebbe would go over and edit. And some of the things that he didn't do, that when they're printed, it says hanacha bilti muga, that it wasn't edited. So all the Rebbes, not just by Chabad, they always had people who have these kinds of memories. They call them chozrim. Okay, so usfartem lachem ממחרת השבת מיום הביאכם את עומר התנופה 7 שבתות. As we read this on Pesach, the second day of Pesach, we have this mitzvah of usfartem lachem, you shall count for yourselves, ממחרת השבת, the day following the Shabbat. Now, this is the one place in the Torah that Shabbat doesn't mean the 7th day of the week, it means the first day of Pesach. Actually, it was a big fight between the Tzdukim and the Prushim, because the Tzdukim took it literally. They took the whole Torah literally. They didn't believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh, and they would count Sfirat HaOmer from Motzei Shabbos. They would start counting, and for them Shavuot always came out on Yom Rishon. And the rabbis say that no, here in this verse, the see, it says, Mimacharat HaShabbat, Miyom Haviyachim et Omer HaTnufa. Now, the Korban Omer, on the first day of Pesach, they would send out people to go and cut the barley. And then on the second day of Pesach, there was a special Korban, Minchat HaOmer. And from that day, we counted 7 weeks. Okay? So now, the Alter Rebbe says, Hinei usfartem hu lashon behirut. The word usfartem, right? So Anat is your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many words can you tell us with the shogash samach pereish?
How many what?
Different words, different. So you have lispor is to count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lesaper is to tell. Can you get it up? And then close it after. Is to tell. Also to give a haircut,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what else do we have? We have a whole bunch more. Sofer is a scribe, right? Sefer is a book. Sfar is hi. You come sit with Sfar is a town on the border, right? Also, the hem of your dress is called the sfar, right? The bottom of your skirt or the bottom of your dress. Yeah, I think so. And then we have sapir, which is a sapphire, right? So Dr. Rebbe says, Hinei usfartem hu lashon behirut. The word usfartem also means clarity, to be illuminating, to be clear. Kimo even sapir, like a sapphire stone, it reflects light, right? V'chein eser sfirot. And also we have the idea of the 10 sfirot. Everybody talks about the sfirot, right? But if somebody stops and asks you, what is a sfira? What is it? Everybody's answering at the same time, the same answer, right? I don't know, right? What is this? You've heard about Eser Sfirot, right? Chachma bin Adad, Chesed Gvura Tiferet, right? Netzach Hod Yisod and Malchut. But what is a Sfira?
The midah.
Huh?
The midah.
It's a midah. Okay, what's a midah?
Quality.
Okay, midah is measurement, right? It's a quality, yeah. But it's a quality of what?
Of the spirit.
Of the spirit. Okay, that's good. Safe. Okay, so the thing is that we have a relationship with God, right? But how does Hashem relate with us? He has to relate with us in a way that we can comprehend, that we can relate to, right? So because God's unity is something that is beyond our comprehension. Somebody's at the door, I think. God's unity is beyond our comprehension. This is one book. Hashem Echad doesn't mean that. See, this is one book. It has a measure. It has a size. It's limited. There are many more like it, right? There are many more like it. So when we say Hashem Echad, it's a whole different kind of unity, which is beyond our language. Okay, right? Okay, so put another chair here because we don't have enough copies. Okay, all right. So there are 10 sfirot, means sort of like, I'm going to use the word like channels, let's say, okay? And each one is a particular quality, and there are ways in which Hashem's light reaches the world that we should be able to understand how Hashem is relating with us at a particular moment. Okay, so for example, so there's chesed, kindness, there's gevura, severity. Today is the 10th day of Sfirat HaOmer. Today is the day of Tiferet Shebegvura. Okay, So what the Alter Rebbe is saying is that now the reason that you can relate to those 10 Sfirot is because you have those 10 Sfirot in your personal makeup, right? You have Chochmah, you have Bina, you have Dat, you have Chesed, you have Gvura, etc. Okay, these are all. Now the three upper ones are the three intellectual Sfirot, Chochmah, Bina, Dat. The 7 lower ones are called the emotional attributes. Okay. Now, you can do an act of chesed in a way where it's an act of chesed, it's an act of kindness, but there's no brilliance to it. God's light is not coming through your chesed. Okay? But then you can do your chesed in such a way that your chesed is actually reflecting Hashem's light into this world. Okay? So what he's saying is that usfartem lachem is that you should make your sfirot bright and illuminating and brilliant, that they should emanate light. They should emanate Hashem's light into the world. Okay? This week in Israel, we read Parshat Kedoshim. In Chutz La'aretz, they're still reading Parshat Acharei, right? Kedoshim tihiyu, you should be holy, right? What does that mean? You should be holy. So you know the machloket between the Rashi and the Ramban. Rashi says that liot kadosh is hevu prushim min harayot min ha'avira. Just by not doing the things that we're not allowed to do, that's already kadosh, right? Now, and what Rashi's doing is giving a literal type of definition to the word kadosh, because literally the word kadosh means separated. When a man says to his wife, Harei at mikudeshet li, what that literally means is that you are now separated from everybody else, and you are in an exclusive relationship with me. When Hashem says to Am Yisrael, Kedoshim tihiyu, you shall be holy, it means you have to be separate from all these other things that are prohibited and relate with me exclusively. Okay? Ramban goes into another opinion, and he brings the opinion of the Gemara that Kadesha Tasmacha b'masha mutar lecha. Make yourself holy with those things that are permissible to you. For example, you're allowed to eat, right? Kosher food. But you can also eat kosher food and be a glutton. You can eat like a pig, right? Is that kadosh? No. Okay. So kadoshim to you, make yourself holy in that which is permissible to you. There's no law in the Torah that says that you're not allowed to use words that are not very nice. When the Torah speaks about speech, it speaks about honesty and truth, sheker, and so on. Would you say that somebody who learns Torah all day and uses language that's not nice, that's kadosh? You wouldn't say that, right? So kadesh tatzmacha b'masha mutar lecha, even the way you speak, the way you eat, the way you relate with people, do it in a way that's kadosh. That's the Ramban's explanation. Now, Chassidut explains that the hiyot kadosh ze liyot shakuf. To be holy means to be transparent to your source. Okay? For example, there's light coming in through the window. The window is transparent, right? The window is not giving the light. The window is letting the light come through, right? Now, say, take, for example, somebody, you're listening to 2 equally good musicians. Okay? And one is Kadosh and one is not Kadosh. What is the difference between them? The one that's not Kadosh is, so to speak, giving you his business card. He's saying, you see, I'm the musician, this is my music, and I'm the one who deserves your attention and your honor, right? The one that's Kadosh, on the other hand, recognizes that it's all a gift min hashamayim, and he is shakuf, he is transparent. He doesn't want your attention to go into him. He's not looking for it. And in fact, because he's being transparent, you can connect to the same place that he's connecting to as he's playing his music. Somebody asks you for a glass of water, okay? That person was thirsty. You can give him the glass of water and you can say, you see, I'm a real nice guy. You need a glass of water. Don't ever forget that I gave you a glass of water, right? Or you can say, wow, this person is thirsty, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu is giving me the opportunity to be the shaliach to give this person a glass of water. And you nullify yourself, right? You make yourself transparent, and the person receiving it thinks, wow, God saw that I'm thirsty, and he gave me a glass of water. Sheila? No. Right? So that's the idea of that he says that usfaktem even sapir lishon behirut, right? V'zehu usfaktem lachem, and that's why it says usfaktem lachem, rather than just saying simply usfaktem that you should count. It says usfaktem lachem. So simple meaning is you shall count, okay, for yourself. What he's saying now is usfaktem lachem, you shall make yourself like sapphires. You shall usfaktem lachem, you should make yourself into a clear channel of the 10 sfirot. Okay? Hainu, that means to say, lahamshich 10 sfirot sheya'iru lachem lamata. It's to draw down the 10 sfirot, the 10 supernal sfirot, to draw them into this world, right? So when you're acting with chesed, it should be Hashem's chesed coming through you. When you're acting with gevura, it should be Hashem's gevura coming through you. Okay? Ulahavin zot, so we need to understand this. So what's the process? So Hinei Pesach hu Yetziat Mitzrayim. So everybody knows that Pesach, we're celebrating the Exodus. And Shavuot, Chag Shavuot, hu Matan Torah. Shavuot, we get the Torah, right? The Kodem Kabbalat HaTorah, and before receiving the Torah, hayu tzrichim lispor shiva Shavuot shleimot. We had to count 7 complete weeks. And afterwards we were able to receive the Torah. This is similar to what? To the 7 days that a woman counts, right? To be with her husband. So in other words, Shavuot is the marriage between Hashem and Am Yisrael, right? We're getting married with God. The Torah is like the Ketubah, but to get ready for the marriage, we need 7 weeks of preparation. So Yetziat Mitzrayim, we're leaving Egypt, and we got all our schmutz with us. We have all the garbage with us, right? Right? But we're going to the wedding. So you can't just go. Why didn't Hashem give the Torah right as soon as we left Egypt, right? Because we weren't ready. We had all our stuff that we had to bless you. We had all our stuff that we needed to clear up and so on. Okay? Understood? So far? Yeah? It's so clean. Okay. So now the Alter Rebbe is going into talk about the process, okay? It says, we're on page A. The Hachayot Ratzo V'Shav. Reish Vav Shin stands for Ratzo V'Shav. So you're familiar with Yecheskel had this vision of the chariot, and among the different things that he saw these angels that are called Chayot, animals. Okay, Ratzo they were rushing forth, the Shav, and they were coming back. Rushing forth and coming back. Okay? They were going higher and coming back, higher and coming back. Okay? Now this is a major concept in Chassidut. This concept of Ratzov v'Shav is a huge concept. Now, two words in English that really work well to explain Ratzov v'Shav is Ratzov is inspiration, and Shav is application. Okay? In other words, let's say we have a young woman here from Har Nof, okay, and she's celebrating Yom Tov, and they're davening, and the singing is beautiful, everything is, and and she's floating away there above Har Nof. Great, and she's having a great experience, right? But then you got to come back down, you got to land, right? And so good. So what if you just have a beautiful experience and then you land and nothing's changed? Was it worth anything? Not really. You had a great experience. The concept of Ratzov v'Shav is go higher, have a really wonderful, intense, important experience, the Shav, and bring it back down into your life, into your daily life, so that it makes a difference, right? How are you going to apply this? You put on tefillin this morning, you daven shacharit, you said Shema Yisrael. Okay, let's say you did it all in the best way. Now you finished Aleinu, tefillah is over. Take off your tefillin, and now you're going to your job. Is it going to be different, or is it not going to be different? If there's no difference, that means that there was no shav. There was no application. You had the inspiration, but now it's like you go to shul on Shabbos, and no matter how great the davening is, what happens when they put out the kiddush, right? Get out of my way, get out of my way. That's for me, right? So where's the shav? They're reading it shav. Okay? So run the shav and shove everybody out of the way. Okay? So that's what we want. So Shulamala, now Yecheskel saw this in his vision. He sees hundreds of thousands, millions of angels going up and coming back, right? Shulamala hakol b'pchinat chatzov v'shav. In the supernal world, everything is functioning on like this chatzov v'shav, this movement closer and back. U'kemochen, and likewise, Pesach hu b'chinat chatzov. Pesach is the aspect of rushing. Shavuot hu b'chinat shav. And Shavuot is coming back. Ki b'Pesach, Pesach hu Yitziat Mitzrayim. Pesach is when we left Egypt. Shehu b'chipazon. It happened in a rush. It was like, okay, it's midnight, everybody, let's sit, we're going, right? We're going, right? Get out of here fast, right? The Egyptians came and said, get out of here fast, right? And as it says, eat the Korban Pesach fast because we're leaving. And it says that you came out of Mitzrayim in a big rush. Why? Because then, on the night of Yitziat Mitzrayim, there was a revelation of godliness from above. As it says, and that the King of the Kings of Kings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, appeared, revealed himself, and redeemed the children of Israel. It was like imagine all of a sudden you have this great revelation, and you know that okay, you got to do something right now. You can't wait now, right? That's b'chipazon. Okay, בבחינת חיפזון. ולעתיד, but for the future, כתיב, it says, כי לא בחיפזון פ"ו, כי לא בחיפזון תצאו. In the future, in the ultimate redemption, it says that in Yeshayahu, it will not be in a big rush like it was at Yetziat Mitzrayim. And you will not be rushing, it's going to be more relaxed. שלא יהיה בבחינת חיפזון. אבל יציאת מצרים היה בבחינת חיפזון. But the Exodus itself was, you have it on page 5, yeah? The Exodus itself was in a big rush. והיינו בחינת רצו ממטה למעלה. That's the aspect of rushing from below up. There was a revelation of godliness, and we realized we better move. Was that the door by any chance? No, that was you? Okay. Masha'in Kain, whereas, Memshin Aleph Chaf, Masha'in Kain, Shavuot, whereas Shavuot to Bechinat Shav. Shavuot is the aspect of returning, application. Shu Bechinat Matan Torah, Gilui Ritzono Lamata. So, what happens in Shavuot is that Hashem gives us His Torah. What is the Torah? It's not just telling us, boys and girls, this is what I want you to do, but it's saying, this is my will. This is what I want you to bring into the world. I want you to bring my godliness into this physical world, right? As it says, Vayeret Hashem al Har Sinai, Hashem came down to Mount Sinai. In other words, in giving us the Torah, Hashem is giving us the way, the means in which Hashem wants to manifest in this world. So Shov is drawing from above and bringing it down into this world. Questions? It's a new concept for most of you, right? This Ratzul B'Shov, right? Okay. And the more you think about it, the more you see that it's almost in everything in life. Even this computer is working on Ratzul B'Shov. Anybody here with computers? You know, you have it's the zeros and the ones, which are really on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. That's what's happening all the time. The light that you see, it's on, off, on, off, on, off, right? So there's, but it's not the best example, but it's like moving towards the source, right? You get inspired, but you don't live there. You got to come back. But you don't just come back. You got to bring that back, bring something back with you. Right? Yesterday, and this past Shabbat, we read Parshat Acharei Mot Shnei Bnei Aaron, right? The two of Aaron's sons, they went into the Kodesh HaKodeshim, and they died, right? And there are different opinions. What was their actual transgression? And one explanation is that they went in there. Here, give me the word, because maybe. So they went in there, and they went in without. They went in there without being commanded. Okay, so they had this big Ratzo experience that was so intense. And because it wasn't an actual mitzvah for them to do it, they didn't have the vessel to receive it, and their circuits got blown, so to speak. Okay, understand? They went too far, and did not have the ability to come back. Right? There are meditations that if you don't have a serious advanced meditator guiding you, if you try it on your own, there are certain meditations where if you don't know how, you might know how to go there, but if you don't know how to come back, you can go a little bit bonkers. You can lose your mind. Okay? If it's like that expression, like, to blow your mind, is like it's almost a literal expression. In other words, like the system gets so overloaded with so much intense information that what do you do with it, right? Okay. So now the usual Hasidic nigunim build from the lower world, from Asiya to more emotional, and they build up like they usually go like a lot of nigunim just have 2 parts. Some nigunim have 3 parts, and then there are some rare that have 4 parts, and that correspond to the 4 worlds. Now, usually the way the nigunim goes, it's like it will start. Right, it'll start from the lower. Right, then you go to a higher plane, and then you come back, right? Now, one of the early Lubavitcher Rebbe's, when he prayed, he was so deep and high in his prayer that the Hasidim were literally afraid that every time he prayed the Amidah, that he's not going to come back alive. So they actually composed the nigun where it's the reverse. It goes from the highest world to, so it's like, the nigun would go like, and bring him down, just like when, if you go diving, underwater diving, there's this thing that I never did it, but if you're deep down and you come up too fast, they have something called that you get the bends. Your body can't handle that. So you got to go stage by stage. And so if you go too high and you come down too fast, you can get the spiritual bends, so to speak, So they actually, at the end of every time you finish the Amidah, a group of Hasidim would be standing there and they would sing them back down into this world. Okay? So, V'hinei k'tiv. Now it says, we're on page 9, right? V'hinei k'tiv, it says, L'man tizkor et yom tzitcha me'eretz Mitzrayim kol yemei chayecha. Right? We're commanded to remember the day of the Exodus every single day of your life. Right? K'mamar vazal b'chol dor v'dor, and like the rabbis say, in every generation, you have to see yourself as if you yourself came out of Mitzrayim. Shetzarich liyot b'chol yom b'chinat yitziat Mitzrayim. Every single day there has to be this aspect of Yitziat Mitzrayim or Yitziat Meitzarim, getting out of your narrows, right? V'hainu, and when are we supposed to do this? When are we supposed to experience this Yitziat Mitzrayim? B'kriyat Shema, when we're reading Shema, right? V'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha b'chol miyadecha, right? Are you ready to give up everything you own for Hashem? Then you've gotten out of your Egypt, right? Are you ready to give up everything? Are you ready to give up your life for God? That means that you're out of your Egypt. You're not held back by any of the material aspects of this world, right? The Chotem, and that's why the Shema ends up in the 3rd paragraph with Ani Hashem Elokeichem Asher Hotzeti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim. It ends up with I'm Hashem your God who's taken you out of Mitzrayim, right? In other words, the idea is that we don't just say Shema, which unfortunately that's what happens all too often. We just say it, but the idea is that during Tefillah, it should be done in such a way that you actually experience your liberation. You actually experience that nothing is going to hold me back from serving Hashem 100% today, right? Bifrat, and particularly Min Baruch Shamar at Kriyat Shema, all the prayers in the Siddur, from Baruch Shamar until Kriyat Shema, Hu hachana sheyavor lebchinat yitziat Mitzrayim v'yahavta. It's all a guided meditation to prepare you to achieve the experience of Yetziat Mitzrayim that you are supposed to have when we say V'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. How do you do that? V'hainu, and that is, K'sheyitbonen eich shekol tzva hashamayim locha mishtachavim, when you meditate on how all the heavenly hosts are bowing down to God. V'ha'ofanim, page chet. V'ha'ofanim v'chayot ha'kodesh b'raj gadol, and the ofanim is a category of certain kinds of angels. And the chayot ha'kodesh is a different kind of angel. B'raj gadol, with great sound and noise, they all proclaim kadosh, 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 right? V'ha'chayot za'ot mechil, and the angels are sweating with fear. Kisei nosot umenusot im kisei, mechil kisei, from the fear of the throne. Nosot umenusot umenusaot im kisei, and they're carrying the throne and they're being carried by the throne at the same time. Elef alafim v'ribu v'babani shamshnuha. There are thousands upon tens of thousands of angels serving at the throne. And all of them are constantly in a state of bitul. Bitul means nullification of the ego. Right? Before we were talking about kadosh as being transparent, right? The one who's not kadosh. The one who's not kadosh his ego is in the way, right? He's saying, I'm doing this great music, right? But the transparent one recognizes. So the one who's kadosh is b'pchinat bitul. He's in the aspect of bitul, constantly in the state of bitul before God. Okay. Now, give him. A sick person you ask, a healthy person you give. So a sick person you ask if they want, a healthy person you just give them. Okay? It's an expression from Yiddish.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen. So what he's saying is like this. How do you experience this Yetziat Mitzrayim on a daily basis? Right? Yetziat Mitzrayim, getting out of your Meitzagim, getting out of your narrows. So let's use this parable, but understand that the parable is not a perfect parable. And I'll explain why. So Baruch Hashem, everybody here in this room, our souls are in our bodies, right? And it's through it's because our soul is in our body, right? Therefore, the body is operating and functioning. It's alive, right? The soul is the source of your life, of your body, right? Now, similarly, Hashem is the life energy of everything that's in existence at every single instant in time, right? Whether it's every second or every picosecond, constant, okay? And you also, just like you don't see the neshama, you also don't see Hashem, okay? If you would, you wouldn't have any free choice. Okay? If you would actually see the Rebbeinu Shalom, you know, how can I put that all-dressed pizza into my mouth, you know, right in front of God? Not possible, right? Now, the difference between the parable and the analog is that whereas the soul is actually affected by the body, okay? Let's say you're in a place that is just, so for some reason or another, you decided to book a trip and spend 2 weeks with the Eskimos, and you're freezing the whole time. How much do you think you're going to be able to concentrate on your davening? Not very much, right? If somebody's stepping on my toe and my toe hurts, as much as my soul might want to be dancing, I'm not going to be dancing right then, right? So the soul is so attached to the body that the garment of the soul, the body, actually can affect the soul. Okay? But Hashem's presence in the world is such that the world doesn't affect him. Okay? Hashem is still way beyond. So if everything in this world is because it's a manifestation of God's will of creation, you have to understand that it's just like a glow of light that's coming, that's shining off Hashem's name. Meaning to say that everything that you see here in this world, or even if you were an astronaut in all the worlds that you see, you have to realize that this is just like the outer surface, the exterior surface of something way, way, way bigger. Okay? What happened the other day at Kriyat Yamsuf? What was happening at Kriyat Yamsuf was that the Yam is the world of concealment. The Aretz, the earth, right? We were learning this the other night. The earth is the revealed world. The sea was split. All of a sudden, everything was visible, and we saw the whole picture. And that's why it says that even a maidservant saw more at Kriyat Yamsuf than Yecheskel ben Buzi saw in his vision of the chariots. Okay, now. So, what we're talking about is learning to realize that there's a much larger spiritual universe than just this physical world. Okay? So, and the more you meditate on that, and the more you realize that, right, the more you begin to think about, so what am I doing here in this world? I'm running after another car. I'm running after another concert. I'm running after this. I'm running after that. I'm running after that. And it's all about gratifying myself. Right? It's all about me. Right? But when you realize that there's this huge universe where there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of angels that are constantly seeking to come in a little bit closer to Hashem, and you realize that that's what it's really all about. Okay? And the reason that the angels are in that state of mind is because they're totally nullified. They don't have that ego of about self. They just want to go back into their source. They want to be back in complete unity with Hashem. Okay? So by learning about the higher worlds and by meditating on that and meditating on what it's really all about, right? So then you are comparatively liberated from the shackles of this world. Right? Somebody comes and asks for tzedakah, and it's hard. Let's say it's hard to give it. Why is it hard to give it? Because you're trapped in your need for money. You're trapped in your desire for money, right? But when you realize that, wait a minute, why did Hashem give me the money in the first place, right? So that I can bring, because he wants to give me the opportunity to be his agent to help somebody, right? So when you have that consciousness, you're not only free to give the money, you actually want to give it the money. You actually want to give the money, right? You want to give the tzedakah. And when when you have that higher consciousness, you just want to serve Hashem all the time. But there also has to be the shav. You got to eat breakfast also, right? You can't just be a soul separate from body. A soul by itself cannot do a mitzvah. The whole will of Hashem is that the soul comes down and vivifies and lives in the body, so that the body should do the mitzvah to bring it down into this physical world. So to achieve this high level of bittul, right, of nullification of the egotistical self, so that's why the davening is set up as a kind of a guided meditation from Baruch Shema all the way up to Shema, which one day will go into more detail, okay? So that by the time that you get to Shema Yisrael and you say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, one of the kavanot, Rabbi Trugman put out a book of 200 kavanot for Shema Yisrael. Have you seen it? It's you got it? You picked it up? You saw it? Yeah. Okay. And so that by the time you say the Shema Yisrael, one of the kavanot is to imagine that you're like ready to die al Kiddush Hashem, right? And you're ready to do it. Like, like Rabbi Akiva, like his students saw that while the Romans were killing him, he was saying Shema, and they said, Rabbi, Ad Kedei Kach, and he says, all my life I was praying to have the opportunity to be able to give my life for God. Okay, but so that means he reached the level where his instinctual drive for survival, he was liberated even from that. But that's, we have to be ready for that. But the real important thing is to know is that, yes, I've got to get to that place and then come back and do everything that I need to be doing today in such a way that is all part of the same Mesilut Nefesh to Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Gemara says that when Hillel used to go eat, he used to refer to it as he's going to pay rent to his body. Your soul needs to pay rent to the body. The body says, you want to live here? Feed. Give me something to eat. Right? You don't give me something to eat, get lost. Right? What?
Nice. Right.
Yeah. So that's so, but he was on that level of consciousness that, okay, I really don't want to eat. I really want to just continue sitting and learning, right? But we got to pay rent. Okay. So now he's going to go in the continuation, which Mr. Shem will continue with tomorrow. He's going to continue to explain this meditation of the prayer and how it works. Okay. Sorry, we started a bit late today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is Wednesday, and Reb David Steinberg is teaching Shlomo's Nigunim, that they should be sung correctly. Okay? So please do come. As it's supposed to be. Yeah. And so now tomorrow morning there's 2 classes with Yehudis Loshevsky for women, and I think starting at 8:45 is when she starts or something. Have you ever been here for that? It's too early in the morning. That's fun.
No, it's good. It's good. I do like
she's a Brussels Hasidah, and she's a brilliant woman. Then at 11:10, Rav Finn gives a shir in halacha. If you haven't had a shir with Rav Finn in halacha, you're in for a huge treat. Okay.
Does it teach it in other times?
What?
Does it teach it in other times?
In other places. Over here just on Wednesday. And then at 12:30 he teaches the Smicha guys next door. We have a big midrash next door here on the other side of the wall also. Okay. So you guys you're in the Ratzo, or are you a little bit you're in the Ratzo? It's pretty amazing stuff. It's pretty amazing. It's a mimer from Dr. Rebbe. It's a mimer from Dr. Rebbe.
How do you find the balance though? And it's a personal thing, but
well, I'll tell you a story. And when Dr. Rebbe's son was married and had a baby, so he was living in his father's house. And one morning, the women had gone out, I don't know, to do something in town, and he was davening shacharit, and the baby was sleeping in the crib next to him. In those days, the cribs didn't have 6-foot fence walls, and he was very intense and deep in his prayer. The Alter Rebbe was up on the 3rd floor in the attic. And in the meantime, the baby had fallen out of the crib and was crying. But the baby's father was so deep into his prayer, he didn't even notice that the baby had fallen out and was crying. So the Alter Rebbe came down, took care of the baby. And when his son finished praying, he said to him, Davening was hurt nicht a jüdische Kind weinen is nicht kein Davening. Prayer that doesn't hear a Jewish child crying isn't prayer. In other words, you're missing the balance. Right? You got to be there, and you got to be here. So, simply speaking, halacha tells you the balance. Okay? In other words, you have halachot saying that guide you. This is what you need to do now in this world. This is what you need to do now in this world. There's this young woman. She lives in Yerushalayim. And she used to come to the Tanya class in the mornings, and when we were learning about these kinds of things, she would say that her father and mother were like that. They were always up there. So I said, "You mean that you didn't get breakfast every day?" She said, "That's right." Because they were so, they were so flying around over there that they would forget that the little girl didn't get breakfast. So you got to know. I got to serve them breakfast, and I'm going to try to serve them breakfast with the right consciousness, so that it should be part of my avodat Hashem. So when you got to do things of this world, you do them, but as part of your avodat Hashem. Somebody's at the door jumping. Okay, so please, hope to see you tomorrow.
Thank you.